Okay, so rational equations, we have three of the same question all side by side. And I'm just going to talk through the steps. So this is grade 8 theory. Sure, you could just subtract the 1/4 from both sides, but that defeats the purpose of learning how to do harder ones. So, the example on the left, we get an LCD, then multiply by the LCD, or the example at the middle top, we just multiply by the LCD and then simplify, or the example off to the right, we're going to times both sides by the LCD, which is equal to 4, the lowest number the denominators go into, common. Now we have to distribute backwards. Now we times the first fraction by 4, x times 4, the 4 is over 1. So x times 4 is 4x, divided by 2 is 2x. 1/4 times 4 is 1. And 3/4 times 4 is 3. Dot, dot, dot. Go solve it from back in grade 8. Equations, -1 from both sides, divide both sides by 2. X equals 1. Circle your answer. Check your answer. Put it back into the question. Make sure it works. Has to work. Okay, the next question. 2 over x plus 2 plus 3 equals 11 over x plus 2. So what's the lowest common denominator? It's x plus 2. So brackets around the equation, times LCD equals x plus 2. When we distribute it backwards, when we times the first fraction by the LCD, remember, when we work through multiplication, we want to think what cancels, what are we left with? So in red, I'm going to write the calculation. We're doing 2 over x plus 2 times the LCD x plus 2. Well, they cross off. So I'm just going to cross off this one. I'm not going to cross off the one off to the right because I still need to use it. So I'm left with 2. Excuse me, I'm going to go in black. 2. Plus, I'm multiplying this 3 by the LCD of x plus 2, so we need it. Then the 11 doesn't need it. Go ahead and take a look at the notes. Distributing, combining like terms, solving, x equals 1. Circle your answer. Don't forget about your restrictions. Set your denominator can't equal to 0 and solve. Subtracting 2 from both sides. X can't equal that. Cross-reference it back to the answer you got. Make sure it's not one of your restrictions. Okay, so that's timesing both sides by the LCD. And remembering, think, what cancels? What are we left with? So, the example on the left, I've shown a lot more steps where you actually multiply it. I just did the solution in the box off to the right. Okay, shrink all this stuff up a bit. Okay, so let's take a look at another example. So let's do 2 over x plus 2 equals 4 over x minus 3. So we could times those sides with the LCD, which is x plus 2, x plus 3. But we'd rather just cross multiply. X plus 2 is on the bottom left, comes up, cross up and multiply. X minus 3 is on the bottom right, cross up and multiply. Distribute the 2 backwards. 2x minus 6 equals 4x plus 8. Look at the solution, adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing on both sides. We get x equals -7. Circle your answer, state your restrictions. X plus 2 can't equal 0, and x minus 3 can't equal 0. Solve, x can't equal -2, and x can't equal 3. Cross-reference your answers to your restrictions and make sure they're okay. Put your answer back into the question and make sure it works. We forgot to do that on the last one. Whichever. Okay, so now we're just going to take a look at a couple more examples on that page in the notes. And I'm just going to be circling them. So we just finished with this example. We're now going to do this one and this one. So looking at this one first, we first have to factor this denominator. Then we can see that the LCD is just x plus 2, x plus 3, because they have one. When we distribute this back into each fraction, we want to think, what cancels, what have we left with? So we times the first fraction, 15, over the LCD times the LCD. We're just left with 15 down below. We times the middle fraction by the LCD. The x plus 2's cancel, and we're just left with 2x plus 3 with a negative in front. Excuse my writing. We times the last fraction by it. The x plus 2's cancel. We're just left with 1. Open bracket, x plus 3. Dot, 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 solve. Same thing on the next one. You might just not have to factor it. The LCD is x plus 2, x plus 1. Remember, multiply both sides by the LCD. Think, what cancels, what are we left with? Get rid of your fraction, and then keep going. Haha, so this thing does not factor, so you'd have to use quadratic formula. And it turns out that there's no solution, because the discriminant is less than 0. So multiplying both sides by the LCD to clear up your complex fraction and solve a rational equation. All of the word problems we're going to be doing are solving rational equations. So multiplying both sides by the LCD, crossing off whatever we can, doing whatever algebra is necessary, stating all your restrictions.